Golfers, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to talk about a regular fault I see on a daily basis which is plaguing your backswing and also which is contributing to a downswing issue. So I want you to visualise your right arm and its position between the right side of your ribcage. One of the biggest things we see if you swing the club back, if you look at it set up, my right elbow stays in front of my right hip. That's a kind of good analogy to use. Many golfers who get the backswing really flat, with their shoulders turn on a flat angle, the club gets really far behind the body, the arms get too deep early on. Then as we come down into impact, as we start to rotate, the chest spins open, shaft gets relatively steep. So all relates back to how you move your right arm in motion, which is causing that issue. So don't be this golfer where if you fold your right arm as if you're going to create a karate chop in front of you, as you swing the club back, as you can see from there, my right arm folds at a 90-degree angle, create this kind of L shape that everyone wants to achieve. If you struggle with your backswing, the tendency is this left arm gets pinned to the chest. So if you look how low my left arm is compared to my chest, my right elbow gets too far behind the right side of my ribcage. If you look at the black stripe on my jumper, as a lot of golfers take the club back, that right elbow gets too far behind the right side of your ribcage. All you're really going to do from here is try and keep the tip of your elbow quite close to the right hand side of the ribcage. So all you could use is literally just place the club in front of you so your right elbow is touching the shaft of the club. If I swing back from here and I start really pinning that right elbow to the body and getting that right elbow too far behind my ribcage, as you can see from there, the club head disappears. So really what we're trying to do, if I pull the right elbow in, club head disappears. Feeling from here is I'm just going to let my right elbow float up the golf club. So feel like the club head stays nice and stable. If I roll that right elbow too far behind the right side of my ribcage, club head's going to get too deep away from my right hip. So just set the club against your right elbow, let the right elbow work up the shaft of the golf club. If it stays in a straight line, the club head's going to stay in a straight line. So from there, right elbow stays in front of the right hip, so work the club back. If I get the right elbow too deep, then the club's going to point towards my target line. So grip end of the golf club pointing at your target line for the duration in the backswing. So as I work the club back, grip end of the club still stays in a stable position into the club at the target line. If I get the right elbow too deep, grip end of the club loses connection with the target line. The elbow works along the golf club. So from there, I'm just going to grip the club now. So as you can see, my right elbow's in position. So let your right elbow float up the golf club. From there, so as I get to the top of the backswing, keep the right elbow in front of the body. So really simple drill. Just place your left hand behind your right elbow. From here, just keeping a little bit of pressure on the back of your left hand on your right elbow. So if I get the right elbow too deep, as you can see from there, I'll lose my connection. So two things, grip end the club pointing towards the target line. From here, a little bit of pressure with the back of your left hand on the right elbow, work the club back. Really just feel like that connection stays intact. So feel the pressure with the back of your left hand on the right elbow. So from there, my right elbow still stays in front of my right hip. Where you struggle your ball striking, right elbow gets really too far behind the body too early on. We all want depth in our backswing to create a bit of space and width. The depth has to be added. Pull the arms in too quickly, left arm gets really low across the chest. Back of the left hand around your right elbow, work on the club back, feel the pressure there. Feel like your right elbow keeps its flex a little bit longer, but also feel like the right elbow stays in front of the right hip. Then as I rotate to the top of the backswing, still feel like that right elbow, the tip of the elbow points down towards the right hip. Don't get the right elbow disconnected, where we get a little bit too much internal rotation on the shoulders. Get to the top, keep that tip of the elbow pointing down towards the right hip, and you're feeling the width at the top of the backswing from there. If that elbow gets too deep, left arm gets really low. So simple drill. All you do, grip end of the club pointing towards the target line, hook your right elbow round so it's touching the shaft. So the grip end of the club is pretty much in line with the club head. Just all when you do from here, try and keep the right elbow floating up the shaft of the golf club. So right elbow floats up the side of the golf club. From there, club head doesn't move at all. If I get the right elbow too deep, club head goes way behind me. So keep the right elbow working up the shaft of the golf club. From there, hold the right elbow in position so the tip of the right elbow points towards the right hip. Put your hands on the golf club. Right elbow stays in front of the right hip. Then as we get to the top of the backswing, right elbow still stays in front of the right hip. This will feel really short at the top of the backswing, but it's just going to give you a good chance of creating a bit more width in the backswing, stop the arms getting really deep, so create a little bit more elevation in the arms instead of getting really flat, and it's going to allow you to bring the club into impact in a better delivery position. Second piece of this puzzle, drill number 2, Just get your right hand in a slightly extended position. Place the grip end of the club towards your imaginary target lines. Hook your left hand round your right elbow. Working the club back from here. Try and point the grip end of the club towards your target line for the duration as the shaft gets parallel to your right hip. So think from there, point the grip end of the club at the target line. Maintain the pressure with the back of your left hand on your right elbow, so work the club back. From here, keep the right elbow in front of your body. If I get really inside, grip end of the clubs are going to shoot out towards your target line too early. So really a couple things, keep the right elbow in front of your body at the top of the backswing, it still stays in front of you. As we come back down, many golfers who struggle with the shaft steepening, get the right elbow too far behind their body to start off with. Then for us to get unstuck, chest has to spin open, right shoulder gets too high, left shoulder gets too low. And then from there, if the chest spins open, shaft steepens, and then we react to that where we almost early extend to improve our impact position. So really, just keep the right elbow in front of the right hip on the way back. Then as you get to the top of the backswing, that'll feel really flat and laid off, but that's just a feeling. It'll feel wider at the top, so your hands will feel a little further away from your head. Then as we come down from here, the only feeling from here is just let the right elbow move in front of the right hip. That's the feeling. So it's trying to get the butt end of the club to feel like it moves directly towards the golf ball. The way we're going to achieve that is if you struggle with steepening the golf club, just get the grip end of the club working towards the golf ball a little bit earlier in the downswing. And then from there, as soon as that grip end of the club works towards the golf ball, that's going to automatically allow my right elbow to move in front of my right hip. So it's almost the feeling that grip end of the club's working towards the golf ball, that's a good feeling. Right elbow's moving in front of the right hip. And then if you're still struggling with that theory, focus on right palm and right forearm. If I get too steep, right hand and right forearm point down towards the ground too early. All I want you to feel like you're doing from there, put your left hand on the grip. Just get your right elbow to move ahead of your right wrist, and then it's the feeling of trying to get right forearm and right hand to face the sky a little bit earlier. Obviously that will feel like the club face is opening, but as the club comes into impact, if you get your right elbow to move in front of right hip, right palm to the sky, that's an exaggerated feeling which is going to contribute to you shallowing this golf club. If I get too steep, right elbow goes back, right wrist gets too far ahead, points towards the ground. So reverse that instead, bring the club back. Don't let the hand get too far ahead of the wrist. Let the elbow come down in front of the right hip, so the elbow gets ahead of the wrist coming down from there. That's going to keep my hand behind the elbow, and then it's going to allow my right forearm and right palm to face the sky. Elbow working in front of the right hip, right hand and right forearm to the sky. That's a feeling that's going to allow me to shallow this golf club, and it's also a great feeling that's going to get your golf swing in order. Another great jog, hook the golf club around your right elbow. As we work the club down, just keep the right elbow in connection with the grip of the club. If I get too steep, grip end of the club goes back, right hand goes to forward. So really feel like the right elbow stays on the shaft for the duration of the downswing. That's a good feeling to create a little bit more external rotation in the right shoulder, meaning that the right shoulder's going to work a little bit more back instead of forward too soon. Right elbow stays in connection with the shaft. As we come down, just let the right elbow move, shoulders working a little bit more externally, right elbow's moving in front of the right hip. If I get too steep, grip end of the club works back. So let the grip end of the club almost feel like it works towards the golf ball. Keep the elbow connected to the shaft of the club. See, if I get into this position of impact, right hand stays behind my right shoulder. My shoulder's in a slightly more closed position. This doesn't open up too early, which looks like this. Get to the top, feel like right shoulder works down a little bit more. That's going to allow the shoulders to stay a little bit more closed, and it's going to allow the left shoulder to work up a little bit more through impact. And the more the left shoulder works up, the club's going to shallow coming through impact. Many golfers who get the left shoulder working down too much don't get the left shoulder working up enough after impact, and that's where we struggle with strike. So a couple of simple drills, simple feelings to shallow the golf club. If you've got any thoughts or any questions regarding that, please comment below with anything you'd like to see in my channel in the future. If there's anything that you're struggling with at the moment within your golf swing, please get in touch. I offer in-person lessons at Glenberry Golf Club in Scotland, online lessons via the Skillet app. I'm offering 20% off at the moment, individual lessons to almost monthly subscriptions. For more information, please get in touch, like the video and subscribe to the channel.